Right, so we've heard of everything's connected, right? And atomically we can prove that everything's connected. In fact, if you just think common sense logically, that if the universe started from a central point, it means that if it expanded outwards, and I don't want to go into a whole lot of debates and discussions around it, but just using a bit of common sense, and if everything expanded from a central point over a very long time, obviously, that effectively all those atoms that expanded outwards would have come from a central point, which means that everything is connected. Common sense, right? However, quantum physics has already shown that everything's connected and how we can influence our environment around us, so it all makes a whole lot of sense. We're not just aimlessly walking around the planet doing whatever we want, we are connected. And so the next slides are all about how the sun and the solar flares have impacted on the Earth and the electromagnetic grid of the Earth, and which then affects the human being. So it shows the cycles of the solar flares and the cycles of human consciousness activity. Fascinating stuff in the next slide. I'll take you through it now. Right, so here's a picture of the Earth and the Sun. Now, the Earth isn't actually this close to the Sun, it's just the angle of the picture. But why I really like this picture is because of this coronal ejection, solar flare. It just shows the power of the Sun and how we just take all these things for granted. So, looking at the effect on consciousness of the planet, these are two graphs. Actually, it's a continuation of the graph above, which is the one below, taken of solar flares and consciousness activity on the Earth of human beings. And look at how close the correlation between the two graphs are. So whenever there's solar activity, and a lot of it, there's a lot of human activity at the same time. It's very uncanny and absolutely amazing to see how it impacts on human consciousness. So thanks to the Heart Math Institute again, bursts of human creativity correlate with solar activity. The periods of greatest levels of human flourishing, creativity, and science and the arts were clearly shown to occur during solar activity peaks. Again, this is the same graph, just from the Heart Math Institute, showing it slightly differently. Once again, look at how close these graphs are to each other. It's almost identical. We won't say exact, but just very, very close. This is a different angle of the Sun and the Earth, and the reason why I like this particular picture is because it just shows the different layers. So we've got the magnetosphere, the plasmasphere, atmosphere of the Earth, and how the coronal mass ejection or solar flare pushes outwards towards the Earth, and how the Earth actually protects itself with these different layers. But obviously there is the impact of the solar flare on the Earth, which is why I like this. It shows it quite clearly. And it then does things to the electromagnetics of the planet. And that's where the fascination of consciousness in human beings and linked to the Schumann Resonance and the Earth itself is all fascinating. Okay. So here, this is another diagram showing, or picture showing, the human being, the vortex of a human being, and also the vortex of the Earth. This vortex being the Schumann Resonance, i.e. the heartbeat of the Earth, and the human being literally from the heart center of the human being. This is something taken from NASA's Themis project, which is fascinating. This is an actual picture showing colorful eruptions of auroras. The Sun, and there's the Earth, and it shows the magnetospheres again, and here showing the vortex of the planet. Fascinating.